What up, everybody? Welcome to the 8th episode of the Legacy TV Convo podcast. And today, I got a very good friend of mine, and I also trained with, and I've had the pleasure to watch fight one of the up-and-coming stars of the PFL of flyweight division, my good friend, Lisa Mauldin. What's up? How's it going, Lisa? Welcome to the podcast. I want to say thank you so much for finally taking the time to come and be here and hang out with me and let me pick women's MMA. One of my favorite sports is MMA. So thank you for being here today.
No, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I think the other day I was like, when are you going to have me on your podcast?
Yeah, I'm just getting it going. And you know, I wanted to bring some very interesting people on, and I've had the honor of having some amazing people. And just for me, like, I have a daughter. You know, my oldest daughter is going to be 17, and I have another daughter that's 13, and my oldest daughter does jiu-jitsu and stuff, and she's getting really good. So for me, I've always been a big fan of women's MMA. And, you know, when I met you, I want to tell kind of the story of how I met you first, which is kind of crazy to think about because, like, I just think, like, for the skill level that the women have now and what you girls can do and how good you girls are, like, the money should be way more. And I feel like it's crazy because I moved recently, and then I walked into the 7-Eleven, and I walked into the 7-Eleven, and then I saw Lisa over there, and she's there working, and I, like, right away when I see you, like, you know, when you do jiu-jitsu and MMA, like, you can kind of sense someone right away that they train or they fight. Yeah, so I'm like I know. Either she's familiar or she's a fighter or she does jiu-jitsu or something. And then one day, like, for sure I knew because you were wearing a Palomino Fight Team t-shirt. Oh, yeah. And then when I saw that, I was like, that's Richie. That's my boy. That's my good friend. Shout out to Richie Palomino, my good friend. He started jiu-jitsu with me and stuff and was one of my white belts. And I gave him his blue belt. And then he started training with Bao. And he's like a great fighter, great father, great everything. I'm just so proud to have been part of his journey. So when I saw the shirt on you, I was like, oh, she's definitely. So that's how I met you. So, which is kind of crazy because at that time you were fighting for the PFL, which is crazy.
Yes.
And you have to like, you're fighting at the highest levels of the sport. I mean, PFL is on ESPN Plus. Am I right? Because I watch ESPN Plus very often. So you're fighting on like the biggest stage for one of the biggest organizations, but you have to keep a job at the same time, which kind of takes away from rest, from recovery, from all the stuff that you need to be able to do what you do, which is fight people, which is a very hard job to have to do. So it's just a trip that's how I met you, and it's crazy. So I want to start, like, kind of from the beginning. Forget the 7-Eleven. Let's go back to where'd you grow up at? Like, where are you from? You from Orange County?
No. Growing up, I actually moved around a lot. I lived with my mom first. Things didn't work out, so eventually I moved with my dad, and my dad's like, hey, you are gonna be doing something. You're not gonna just How old when you left your mom? How old was it? Like, what age was this? Must have been like 12 or 13.
So you were with your mom, just you and your mom, till you were about 12 or 13?
Yeah. So once I moved with my dad, and my dad's like, hey, you're gonna be in some sports. You're gonna be doing something. You're not gonna just, not do something. You're gonna compete. So he had put me in karate, and I had a lot of catching up to do because my brothers.
Wait, hold on, Lisa, hold on. This is why though. What was it what were you doing wrong? Like, can you at 12 years old, what were you into? Tell me, like, what was Lisa into that your dad's like right away put you in karate? Like, were you getting in fights or something, or like what was going on that this happened that he wants to put you in karate right away? What were you into at that time? Do you remember?
Not he himself is a competitive person.
Yeah.
And he was always into sports, and he always gravitated towards MMA, boxing, kickboxing. He always gravitated towards that. And he was like, hey, you guys are going to do, you guys are going to do that.
So
I was also on a bad path. I was getting into fights. I wasn't in school for the right reasons.
There you go. This is what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Because that's not who you are today. So that's what I want to say. Like, what was going on? Like, at a young age, you were getting into trouble? Were you hanging out with the wrong people? Maybe doing what leads someone at that age, at a young age? Because I'll be honest, like. And people that are listening to my show now or haven't listened to the show are going to get to know that I went through a lot myself. I got into a lot of trouble. I was involved with gangs and I went to jail a lot of times. I did every drug almost you could think of. Like I did all that. So I understand, and I feel like it's okay because you know what? Without experience, without going through certain things in your life, you're never going to be able to talk to anybody about it and help anybody or your kids or a relative, or especially in martial arts, it's a big thing. So I think for you, like that it is a martial artist, a mixed martial artist, the highest level of the sport. Like this is part of your journey into becoming who you are today. So it's okay. To I remember in the beginning I used to think, like, people are going to judge me if they found out I went to jail. And I used to always because when I started coaching, I'm like nervous to talk about it. And at the same time, I make rap music. So I was like, I get nervous. Like, I don't want people to know this side of me. But at the same time, it's like, I'm a good person. I do good things. Like, I'm proud to be who I am today. And I'm proud to have gone through all the bad stuff I did, all the mistakes that I made to be who I am today. So I feel like, what you were doing at a young age, a lot of people have done. And the fact of the matter is that's part of the journey. That's part of evolving and becoming a better person. So
I completely agree.
So 12 years old, like, what were you doing? Were you doing drugs?
No, thank God.
Okay, that's good.
But,
were you hanging out like with boys and stuff and staying out?
I was completely just. I didn't have, I just saw the way I looked at it. I was like, my parents are divorced. This just sucks. I wish they were together. My brother and my sister live with my dad, and I'm over here, and I want to see my dad I wanted to see my dad all the time. But I hope my mom doesn't see this.
Nah, your mom will be all right. Your mom will be proud of you.
So I would get in trouble a lot in school. I'm going to take one of your.
Yeah.
I would get in trouble a lot in school. I didn't look at school as
important.
It
wasn't.
I didn't look at it as like I'm trying to like.
But a lot of us didn't. Yeah.
Didn't at all.
Because none of that shit made
it
sense at the time. Like
my friends.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, boys, school, weed. I would smoke weed.
Smoke weed.
But what was it? When my parents split, that's just when everything went downhill.
Everything changed, and then now you got your father figure. So he's probably
probably
was he a little bit more strict on you than your mom was, and then so that's all of a sudden why he's like, okay, you're gonna start doing some martial arts. So he's probably noticing that you're which is a good thing. I think that every child should do martial arts. My kids all trained a little bit. My middle one, she doesn't like it.
It's not for me.
And she's got, she's very like strict. Nope, I'm not doing it, Dad. That's it. You know what I mean? But I think every kid should do martial arts. I think every person should know should feel powerful enough to defend themselves, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, people forget because it's sport now and stuff, but originally, like, martial arts is just about being able to not get bullied and not get beat up, or if something bad is happening to someone around you, you can or defend someone else. If you see a woman getting hit or hurt, like, as a man, you should go over there and stop that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you don't know how to defend, if you're a police officer and you want to stop someone that's on drugs, that's hurting someone, how can you do it without training martial arts? You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a lot of things like that are positive about martial arts. So your dad did the right thing.
Yeah. My mom, she worked a lot. She would come home late at night, so I had a lot of free time on my hands.
She couldn't keep an eye on you.
I'd be gone, hanging out with my friends, just not even doing my homework, just hanging out with my friends, going to parks, going to just.
Oh Lord, have mercy if my daughters did that.
Oh my
goodness,
right?
They better not. I got my eyes on their grades. I'm watching them. I see them every day. So
I think if my dad and my mom were still together, I would have that father figure, and he would definitely guide me more in life and tell me the right reasons why I'm in school, why I need this, or if I was younger and he was there.
So your dad put you in. He put you in karate first.
He did.
Did you like it? Like your first experience, was it a good karate school?
He did it.
Huh?
He did it.
Was it the real karate, or like we don't have to say any schools or anything? But was it like it was tough? It was good.
We competed all around.
There's a lot of karate schools, and like it's
that are not just.
Well, I mean, it's like 300 belts or something. It's like,
oh yeah, exactly. Like, no, you earned your belt for sure.
But yeah, karate's cool. I think if like the teachers are good, like any martial art though, if the teachers are good and it's the right style of it that actually transitions to someone being able to defend themselves, then hell yeah. I did Shotokan karate when I was a kid. I did Ildo Taekwondo. I boxed. I did all. My mom. I was such a bad kid. My mom was trying to put me in anything. I played every sport. I played basketball, soccer, football. I wrestled. Like you name it. She tried to throw me in every sport she could because I was just so bad. And like, my dad, like, and her, as I was growing up, they were having issues, and much love to them. They're together now, but during that time, like I was just kind of by myself, just doing whatever I wanted to do, and that's why I got in so much trouble. So you started doing karate, you hate it, and so that was the first impression of martial arts for you. Wonderful.
But now that I'm in my MMA, I'm doing MMA, I actually appreciate it a lot because it really helps my footwork. Like I didn't realize how much it benefited my footwork.
Yes.
Because you're always on the balls of your toes. You're hopping all the time.
Yes.
And you're not like that in MMA or kickboxing. You're a little bit more flat-footed. So, and it really benefited me. So
that was for cool. Your stand-up. Yeah. a lot. You see it a lot in MMA now. Like that bouncy, like hands down, front hand down, and it's. I think for MMA, that swag to it too. I like the way it looks. So the karate, definitely.
Oh my gosh, what's that guy's name?
There's a lot of them. There was like Lyoto Machida. There's an MVP, Michael Venom Page. I like Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy. There's Michael Venom Page. In my opinion, does it the best.
Yeah.
Like just his arms are like down to his like ankles too. So like it just looks even like it looks crazier.
Like I can hit this guy. His hands are down.
He's fun to watch fight. I wish they brought him in the UFC. Like he'd be cool. So okay, so you did karate for a little while, and this is like your early teenage years, and so what happens from there?
Okay, so we decided to move. We call it up the hill, so we lived in Victorville, Hesperia, that area. So we were like, one day we visited another gym, and this is where everything just started like blooming. We found jujitsu. I didn't wrestle as much, but jujitsu, actually Muay Thai, and boxing.
So it was an MMA gym.
It was an MMA.
So you guys moved to a new place, and then you had only done karate. Were you still doing karate when you had stopped doing that? Yeah,
the only reason why we even moved to was because of this MMA gym. It was because of this MMA gym we decided to move because it was a lot closer. We lived all the way up the hill.
Was your dad gonna do MMA as well?
Oh no.
It was just you decided you were gonna move to do MMA.
We all, as a family, moved down. So it wasn't just me doing the sport. It was my brother and my sister.
That's
So all
okay.
three of us were.
Yeah. See, I knew you had. I knew you. I know a little bit of the story, but I didn't want to bring anything up like right away. But I know that I've seen your sister with you in the cage. Is that correct?
Yeah.
She's a fighter as well.
She's a badass.
Yeah, and I've heard she's really good too.
She's really good. She beats me up.
Yeah. Okay, so you, your brother, and your sister, and you guys all started doing MMA.
Yeah, my brother was really good too, but he stopped. He wanted to pursue a career. He got married, has a baby. He's beautiful.
Oh yeah, baby.
But
they're the best.
yeah.
They're the best. They smell the best. They're like, I miss when my kids were little. But yeah. So that's good. Well, that's he's living his life then. That's because that's, family at the end of the day is the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
so
you go to this gym and what's your first
my impression?
Yeah, you go you this is your first time you just start doing MMA from the beginning, or do you do like stand up stuff? What is it you're like?
I gravitated towards stand up. I loved Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. At
a point, along the way, I stopped doing jujitsu because I was like, I don't want to on the ground. But I did enjoy it, just not as much as Muay Thai or kickboxing. Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah,
part of MMA as a whole. Well, as a whole. So,
but you were training that Muay Thai in an MMA gym.
Yes.
So there was MMA, there was jiu-jitsu and everything going on. But that was your favorite thing to do.
That was my favorite thing.
When you were doing the Muay Thai, were you also jumping in the jiu-jitsu classes?
I was, but again,
you didn't
gravitated towards Muay Thai. That's what I liked.
Yeah. So.
But I still, even now to this day, I like striking. I like to do Muay Thai, but I actually grew to love jiu-jitsu as well. Was
the plan when you moved to this gym, you just gonna be a fighter? Like as soon as you get there, like I'm gonna start training and be a fighter?
Yeah. My first fight was in Idaho, and
this was an amateur.
First round, yeah.
Okay.
In the first round, I broke my nose, and that was the day. I was like, oh,
how long had you?
Because I don't know why it didn't click in my head that, hey, you're in a fucking fight.
This girl, she's about to punch me. This bitch is gonna punch me in the face.
All I remember was like the guy walking around the ring. There was a guy holding the ring card. I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. As soon as this bell rang, and I was like, oh shit, this
girl's gonna punch me right now.
She did, dude. She fucking was trying to take my head off.
Oh,
and
shit.
It was a really good fight. But she broke my nose in the first round and I had to go 0-3 with a fucking broken nose.
And this was an MMA. How long had you been training?
I must have been training about a year and a half.
And I think this was like what, 2012? It had to be. This was when you had your first fight. Am I right?
Yeah.
That was that's a long time ago. What was it? How was was it a lot of people? How was the show? Was it a good show?
At the time, it was a lot of people.
For amateur?
Yeah. To me, it was like, oh my God, there's so many people.
How much did you pay to compete?
Right? I
know. Because at that stage, like you're pretty much paying to train.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't remember? You probably don't remember. But you were just excited to take a fight.
Yeah.
And then you have this crazy fight, and you just started training like just
year
recently.
And a half, and threw my butt in the fucking cage. Got my nose broken.
Were you training jiu-jitsu a lot? Were you training jiu-jitsu a lot, like in that year and a half? Okay,
I was.
So you started
just not
doing
wrestling. Actually, wrestling, I just never did.
So you would just do knees to knees and then just striking, or
I guess pretty much. If you got in the clinch, try and trip him.
Yeah. That's 2012, your first amateur fight, and you were training in Idaho, you said, or the fight was in Idaho?
The fight was in Idaho.
Okay, so. And you were training where? In Victorville, am I right?
It was in Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga. So you started your fighting career in Rancho Cucamonga. Did you guys move from Victorville to Rancho Cucamonga? Okay,
yes.
Okay. And so, what happens in the fight? That like you
Okay.
realize she's just comes out, and then now you're actually doing it. You're doing MMA.
I think it was in the second round. It's the second round. Oh no! In the third round, it's on the ground, and I have an arm bar. But there was this technique that my coach showed me where you shake the leg to free the arm. But I end up somehow healing her in the face, and I had gotten a point deducted from me.
Oh shit!
So it ended up being 1-1. So the fight ended up being a draw.
The first fight, the first year amateur fight, ended up being a draw.
Yeah, it ended up being a draw. But honestly, it was super cool.
You didn't care about that. You found something you like to do.
The more of the experience, it was so cool.
Hell yeah. And that's like the experience that made you want to keep doing it.
I just was like, all right, this is cool. I love this. Like, I like punching people in the face, and I like the feeling after. It just feels good.
You're a competitor, and fighting is fun.
Yeah, it is.
It is fun. It really is.
Until you break your nose.
Well, that's the the game.
Oh yeah.
Cuts, stitches, swells, scar tissue, like it comes with it. But when you love it that much, that part of it doesn't really matter to you. So you win. So the first one goes to decision. Then you have how many more amateur fights did you end up having?
Okay, so is that one? And then, like I said, remember, I liked striking. I liked kickboxing. So I actually was doing more Muay Thai fights than I was doing MMA. I probably, for amateur, I only had maybe 3 MMA fights.
Oh, okay. And then how many Muay Thai fights?
If I can remember, because they're amateur, maybe 6, maybe 7. I lost a few, won a few. I fought for titles, lost some title fights, won a title fight. But
amateur Muay Thai is pretty. It's like it might as well be professional. People are getting knocked out. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I never got it. I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'll just do pro. I get it. I understand the experience, but at the same time, you're still getting punched in the face. The exact same.
Yeah. I would love one day to have a professional Muay Thai fight or kickboxing fight. I would love that. I already.
You just had a boxing fight.
I did. That was interesting.
And you won that, right?
Yeah, thank God. I put a lot of time into it. I was like, I can't kick her. I can't take her down. I can't knee her.
That was right here in Orange County.
Yeah, it was.
That was your first just straight boxing fight too.
Amateur boxings prior. Just jumped into boxing.
What did you feel like was the difference, in the gloves, because I know it's a lot different with the clinching. There's no dirty boxing. There's just it's completely different. But
actually,
did you enjoy it?
In the clinch, they let us work in the clinch and everything.
Oh yeah,
I was surprised because I expected them to break it,
yeah, especially boxing.
But they didn't. They were like, "Okay, you guys didn't work," and I was like, okay.
Bam, bam, bam.
I was trying to work in this clinch. Eventually they broke us up, but I thought it was cool. I thought I would be the one kind of clinching a little bit more.
The other girl
was trying to
well, you got really good stand up, so I'm sure I didn't get to see the fight, and I wish I would have been able to go. I've just been so busy, but I knew you were having that fight, and I already knew. I was like, she's gonna win that fight because your stand-ups, I would say you're good at everywhere. When I've watched you fight, and I've trained with you, so I know you're very good at jiu-jitsu as well. So but boxing right now is more. It seems like it might be a little bit more money, especially if you're an MMA fighter. So that's one cool route, especially option for you. That could happen, against a high level boxer and an MMA fighter, because that's kind of where it's going with boxing.
Yeah, you see all these boxers actually transitioning to MMA as well.
Yeah,
you see them in PFL now. You got Clarissa Shields in there.
Oh yeah, Clarissa's in your weight division.
Oh heck no, She's like,
she's
what is she, like,
she's
150, I
she's
think?
145. She fights at,
Or
right?
145,
Or
something
one
like
yeah.
that. Somewhere at that weight class.
Yeah,
but
she's a
big girl.
fucking really good boxer.
Yeah. Oh, she got them hands. I love watching her.
She once she's like as she gets better with the takedown defense and stuff, and like just at least being able to like get up and stuff like that, she will definitely be a problem with those hands.
Oh yeah. Sure.
I feel like women's MMA is so fun to watch because you never know what's gonna happen. The main girl like in the PFL right now is Kayla Harrison. Am I right?
Harrison, yeah, she just won her last fight against
Aspen Ladd. Yeah, she's tough.
I can't wait for her to fight Chris Cyborg. That's bound to happen. They
just joined, like Bellator just became part of PFL.
They acquired it, yeah.
So they're gonna have to fight. That's a good fight.
That's gonna be good. Who you got?
You know what? Damn. Who you got? Shout out to our show. Who you got? That's why actually at one of our shows we're doing the fight predictions. Damn.
I think I got Chris Cyborg. She's pretty well rounded.
She's so good. She lives out here in Orange County too.
She does.
So I'm gonna have to, right. You know what I think? Ooh, this is what okay, look. If I'm gonna root for someone and who I think will win if it's stand up, Chris Cyborg for sure. But the one problem is that like the wrestling and the judo. Like if she can get on top, because I could see her getting on top of Cyborg, and I could see her like getting into some good positions and control. Maybe not even finishing Cyborg, because Cyborg is a veteran, but I could see her getting into some good positions and controlling the round with short shots and stuff, and winning on a decision.
I agree.
I think if I was gonna put my money on it, like as much as I like Chris Cyborg, I think I would probably say,
Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, I think she would pull it off. But either way, that'd be a fucking fight I want to watch.
It would be good.
And respect to both ladies.
I'm excited for next year. Next year's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, well, fuck, I'm excited for you. I want to see you fight like that. Yeah. That's fun, and I think women's MMA is gonna get a lot more popular, and I think right now is the time for it to explode, and I think your time is gonna come. So you started doing these Muay Thai. Let's get back to it. You started doing these Muay Thai. That's not get too far away. You started doing these Muay Thai fights, and when you're doing the Muay Thai fights, you're kind of going back and forth with MMA as well. Yes. You do a couple MMA fights, and you're doing more Muay Thai fights at the beginning of your career.
Yes, and there was a moment where I kind of stopped. Actually, no,
that's what I was gonna say. It was like, I think I was when I looked at your record, I think there was 4 to 6 years or something that you didn't fight. Am I right? 6 years was it?
I didn't fight because I was trying to.
You chose a different career path.
Yeah, I gotta get a job. I gotta get money. This isn't, I'm not professional yet. I gotta go back to school. I gotta do something. So I was trying,
like, such as
so I went to school, long story short.
College?
Yeah.
Community college? Trained?
That short term.
Why? Well, let me tell you why. Because somebody asked me the other day, what was your college experience? I said, do you want to know the truth? What was the truth? Okay. I literally paid for the classes or whatever, got the books and shit, right? This was at OCC right here in Costa Mesa. And I walked into the first class, the first period or whatever it was. I sat down, I looked around before the teacher even got there. I swear on my kids. Before the teacher even walked in the room, I looked around, I said, this ain't for me. Fuck that. I got up and I walked out, and I literally walked off OCC, and I never went to school again after that. That was it for me.
It was actually when I finished and went into the field of work that I did was like, this is not for me. No. I went for medical billing and coding, and I sat there in a desk, and I'm a really active person. I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta move. I can't sit at this desk. I am an active person. This is not for me.
All right, so you stopped fighting this whole time, and like you did the amateur thing, and then now all of a sudden you're trying to do another profession. You're just like, hey, you know what? I need to make money. So what's the path that you're gonna take?
I was gonna take the path of doing medical billing, and it wasn't for me. I couldn't sit at a desk and.
Medical billing? What kind of experience?
It was actually interesting. Honestly, it was actually interesting.
Did you have experience in that though? Like, what made you want to do that though? Like, was it something?
Dude, I didn't even get past my internship. That's when I was like, this isn't for me. I was doing my internship, and I was like,
it's crazy. Only job I ever really had, like, I worked at like Fat Burger. And like I worked at Denny's for like a month, and I think that was about it. Like my whole life, I couldn't do it.
I can do retail, all that stuff, because it's active. You're not sitting there. You're busy. You're doing something.
So during this time that you're trying to do that, are you just are you partying? Are you hanging out? Like, you're in a good path? Everything's good, but are you still training at the time?
I'm still training, but I'm not committed.
No, okay.
I wasn't committed. I was just
hopping
trying to
here and
stay in
there.
shape.
Oh, okay. Were you sparring and stuff still?
Actually, no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't. I was just training.
Just doing good. Yeah. That makes sense. You can still train and don't have to do all the sparring and the hard stuff and destroy your body. As I'm getting older, is what I'm finding. That happens, but yeah. So
when I finally was like, okay, I don't like this shit. I'm gonna go back to school. And then I told my dad, I was like, Dad, this isn't for me. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I want to fight. I want to go back to fighting. He was like, okay, well, my other coach, which I don't think I explained, but I actually switched gyms to another gym, and they were located in Irvine, which is my current gym. Team Oyama.
Shout out to Colin Oyama, OG from Orange County.
Yeah, and
respect.
Long story short, I got a hold of them. They had a fighter house at the time, and I went to go live at the fighter house.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was.
What year was this?
Oh my gosh, you can ask me what year it is. I don't know.
It's been a long time that he had the fighter house, or is he still having
2020, 2021?
Okay, it's not that long ago.
20, yeah, maybe 2020, I think. And
Colin's, like, for those that don't know about Colin Oyama, he's like one of the real OGs and pioneers. I would love to have him on the Convo. I think he'd be great to have here. Just like I look at him like, I had Eric Paulson in here recently, and I would look at Colin like at that level, of being a coach. He's just a cool. You can just tell. I've seen him, ran into him over the years a couple times and said hello, and he just seems like really cool people. So I love to have a conversation with him. One person,
he will tell you like it is. Like, there is no sugarcoating anything. If you suck at fighting, he's gonna fucking tell you.
So you hadn't had any pro fights when you contacted them to go to the fighter house, or
so. So when I went to the fighter house, I had my last MMA amateur fight. I had one we wanted to see where I was
How'd you win your last amateur fight?
Decision.
Okay.
Decision.
Cool.
Again, I broke my nose.
Oh, well, yeah. Once you break it, it
just keeps breaking.
It keeps breaking.
Thank God it hasn't broken recently.
Life of a fighter. Life of a G, I guess. Knock on anything. Yeah. But hopefully it'll never break again, because you won't even get hit, because you'll get them out of there.
Yes. Okay, so I had my last amateur fight, and then I went pro, and it was at the OC Fairgrounds.
Oh shit! Then, right here in Orange County.
Yeah.
Yep, man.
And then later, we eventually got into LFA.
So no, hold on. This is big. You can't rush past that. So you're deciding to go pro. This is big. This is like you're deciding to be a professional mixed martial artist, which is like, this is one of the toughest fucking sports in the world, like the coolest shit. And I love MMA. As much as I do jiu-jitsu and stuff, I got into jiu-jitsu because I wanted to do MMA. I loved MMA.
Have you fought MMA?
I did a couple smokers in my coach's gym. Like,
how'd you like it?
I love
your
MMA.
experience?
We used to spar every day like it was a fight in my coach's gym. We had a cage and everything. And my part of my jujitsu was like, it's different. I teach now, but you had to be able to do MMA as well. You had to be able to use jujitsu while someone was punching you in the face. This was kind of like how I was brought up by my coach Joe.
What do you think about that, by the way? Let me ask you this. Do you think a person would win a fight if they're on their back and they're punching you, but the other person's on top, like saying guard, in your guard?
Depends who. Okay, look, because I mean, who's going to be more effective is going to be the guy on top. But somebody from the bottom can also be very effective. If the person on bottom is getting stalled and their biceps stopped and then they're getting hit with elbows and the person on bottom is being more effective, then the judges should be smart enough to see that person is fucking them up from that position. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why people don't understand what's happening in MMA anymore at this point. Like, as long as it's been around, there should be, like, you should be able to pay somebody that's smart enough to see, oh yeah, they might be on the bottom, but they're fucking them up from there.
I've actually lost a fight like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was on top.
That's terrible judges.
And I lost a fight like that.
So, okay. So, first fight, pro.
Yeah. So,
do you remember the girl's name you fought?
Amanda Jones.
Amanda Jones. Is she still fighting today?
And you want to know the craziest thing?
Huh.
We were teammates.
Oh, shit.
Way back. And
so when you were with Colin Oyama, you end up fighting one of your old teammates?
Old teammates from the first gym that I went to.
Damn. Was there beef?
No.
Street beef? No, I'm just kidding. Just joking.
We just, we're just fighting.
You just having a match up for your first pro fight with somebody you train.
Yeah.
There's nobody else they could have.
That was the person that they
offered,
yeah. And I was like, okay,
all right.
I didn't care.
How did it go? Tell me. Were you nervous?
It was okay. There was another one of those crazy fights. I got 12, maybe 11 stitches right here
on your forehead.
I was like, I could finally throw elbows.
You were probably
throwing elbows. This girl throwing elbows back. She split me open right here.
That's one of the place that bleeds the most is on the forehead.
Yeah,
I have stitches all like on the side of my forehead. I got stitches on the front of my forehead. Yeah, I already know.
She got me. It was a really good fight. That night we people were throwing at OC Fight Club. You can tip. You can throw money into the cage or ring. So throw money in the
while they're fighting.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, after the fight. I'm sorry. After the fight.
Okay.
So they were throwing money. That was the first time I've ever seen that. They were throwing money into the cage. I mean, into the ring.
They should.
I was like,
they should because
it was pretty crazy.
No, it was that good of a fight.
It was super crazy.
You don't have.
There was blood everywhere.
Do you have the video footage still of that? Like, that'd be cool if you see. It's like as packed.
I could probably find it, but
as packed as OC fight, like it gets pretty packed too.
It does. Yeah.
They're throwing money in there, but that's respect because like you girls probably had a crazy fight. It would be cool. It would be cool to have lots of high quality pictures like everybody's doing now with their phones and stuff of all your fights. You do?
Of all the blood. Oh, that's crazy. Should I pull that up?
Yeah, but we'll pull it up.
Okay,
we'll pull it up. We're gonna pull it up and put it on the screen for you.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like one of the pictures you'll send it to me and I'll show everybody on the show.
Crazy, guys.
But I mean, like the fight, how'd you end up winning?
By decision.
Was it a landslide decision or was it 29-28?
Honestly, it was pretty close.
29-28,
kicking each other's asses. We were in the clinch a lot. At one point, did I go to the ground? I think she did. She was trying to go for a leg lock on me, and I was like, I don't want to do this because I wasn't.
What level jiu-jitsu do you think you were at that time?
Oh, freaking white belt.
Belt?
That's how I felt because I strayed away from it for a while, and I was going back into jiu-jitsu. It's like relearning it and everything. So I was like, she's on the ground. This is not for me.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I was like, no.
That's cool. Okay, so you win by decision. How was the high for them from that? Like, how happy were you? Like, what does that mean? Like a win for you, first pro, first one on the line. What does that mean for Lisa? Like, how big was that?
It meant like, to me, it meant like, okay, this is for me. This is,
I'm meant to do this.
Yeah.
That was like confirmation.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I had, like, to me, I still struggle. Actually, you know what? Even in the mindset, I still struggle now. But I think that's with every fighter. There will always be some part where you'll be struggling in your mindset.
Yeah, of course.
It is what it is.
Of course. Everyone, I can only imagine. Like, I remember, like, the last thing I did, the competition was, I competed in Pan Am's as a brown belt. And I was like, it's not a big deal. It's not even an MMA fight or anything. But I just you want to win so bad. It's so, people don't understand how fucking important, especially an MMA fight where you can get knocked out, you can get choked out, you can, like, it's very tough to deal with the loss, and the consequences are big. So it's a lot of pressure, and it's not an easy thing to be a part of. That's why it's a tough sport. It's a tough sport.
I've had people tell me, you can die from this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But,
like,
they don't also.
I had people try and scare me out of.
But you can also, but the reality is you can also live from this.
Exactly.
Which is what you should think. You should never let anyone downplay or bring darkness to your light. And your light is that. And you're good at it. And you should get paid for it. And that's what you're doing. And the doubt, of course, it's going to be there. That's part of life. When I was young, I used to doubt that, I'm never going to be a rapper, but I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck because I told myself, you know what? I'm going to make CDs anyway. Nobody's going to stop me from doing that. I'll make it myself. I'll go sell the CDs myself. I'll go make my own fans. I'll do my own thing. No one's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. So I understand that hunger, that passion to do something you love. And so regardless of the doubt, you got to keep going. You got to be tough. And especially if it's something you love and you're capable of big things, which you are, you got to keep getting after it. And and that's what you did. So you win your first pro fight, and then how many more? What happens from there? Take me through the career.
Okay, so I actually.
Did you fight right away?
Happen? No. Injuries happen. My body decided to be like not agreeing with my mindset or with my mind. My plans.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think part of it is also the way you trained, maybe a little bit?
We do train really aggressively, and we train really hard where I train at. It could be, could not, but I've always dealt with injuries. But
that's the tough part, though. Like, you're training to fight someone.
Exactly. So you think that person's gonna be like, oh.
No. That's why when I say people don't understand how tough of a sport it is. Like, I've been training for, going on 19 years, and it's like I tell people, like, even after I roll now, like, I'll go home the next day, I feel like I've been in a train wreck. I have like bulging discs all throughout my neck and my back. I don't complain. I still train. I love to train. I'm not gonna stop. It's like, if you take that away from me, you might as well kill me. I say I want to be buried in a gi, like, when I die. And I mean that, because that's how important to me martial arts is. So when I do pass away one day, I want to die doing that still. So, like, I know my body can't keep up with how good of technique I used to have when I was younger and how good and aggressive but I still love it, and I'm still going to do it. So, I mean, okay. So you start.
So I actually had been dealing with that injury for a long time. It just happened to get really bad to the point where I would just, like, throw a jab and my shoulder would dislocate.
Fuck.
So I had to get surgery. I had a torn labrum, other things, but I was just I was so distraught because I was just starting, and all of a sudden I had to just stop, and I was just so like, I was just didn't know how to really handle it either because I just started this. I'm like, oh my God. And so it took a while. And
let me ask you this. Like when you hurt your shoulder, like did you have help with recovery, or like did you like, cause this is a life of a fighter, right? This is the beginning of your career. Like was, shout out to Dr. Kessler. Was Dr. Kessler around there?
Yeah, he actually helped me.
He did? I was going to shout out to Dr. Kessler. We're going to have him on the podcast soon.
I had 2 shoulder surgeries, so he was a part of both of them.
The recovery.
Yeah.
And did he? Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It was a very like.
So this is after your first fight, you had shoulder surgery? Yeah. And then fuck. That sucks.
I was, I got that first win. I'm like, yeah.
Here we go.
That happened. I'm like, oh my God.
That can be tough.
Yeah. So.
Did you recover right away, or did you like have a tough recovery? What was the recovery like?
It was a long recovery, and I'll tell you why. This one was a lot shorter because he knew what he was doing. The guy that did this one. So the way that I understood it and how it was explained was when they did the surgery on this one, he said that because it was not just like 2 incisions, it was like 4, 5, 6. And that's what made the recovery longer. He said the reason why he did so many incisions was because it's like looking in a living room from the windows and trying to see what's in the inside because he didn't know. Yeah. So we had to make all these incisions.
Shit.
Whereas this one, when I had this surgery, it was like maybe 1, maybe 2, 3 incisions, and because he knew what he was doing.
Oh fuck!
I don't have any problems anymore, thank God, with my shoulders because it was a big thing.
Yeah, shoulders are. I just popped my shoulder lifting weights, and like for like a couple weeks, yeah, it's the worst. And then
it really is.
And then for fighting sport, like that's like almost everything. You can't do nothing. You can't punch. You can't wrestle. You can't defend yourself. Like it's fucking terrible. Losing one arm is fucked up for fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, but thankfully, like you have the surgeries, and but then you also have that. Once again, shout out to Dr. Kessler. He helps you. He helps you with Colin referred you to them, and then you started working with them on the recovery, and then so both your shoulders get better.
They are 100%.
Okay.
Like, and if you do have shoulder surgery, always do band workouts. Always do some kind of workout that will benefit your shoulders, because if you stop, it will get worse.
Yeah. Food for thought and some knowledge right there. There's some game right there. Ching, take that to the bank. Okay, so then you start the shoulders get fixed, and then you're fine there. You're like, okay, now I can get back to fighting.
Yeah, so I had one fight which was like some.
Now the Rocky music is fucking playing. She's running up and down hills. Like she's listening to music in her headphones. The sweat's dripping in the sauna. Your career gets to start, right? You're healed, and then so boom. Take me through that Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5. What are the next fights like?
So I won't talk about the next fight I had. It was very small organization. Like it was.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
How'd you win?
First round, rear naked choke.
Ooh.
And it was,
how did that feel? Just tell me how does it feel to strangle someone? It wasn't enough. Like maybe the competition wasn't as tough as you wanted it to be. Is that
exactly?
That's okay. Respect her to getting in the cage.
Exactly.
And you never know. Like each human being, whether you win or lost, is capable of putting you out.
I will say this: one of my toughest fights. Personally, actually, I had 2 really tough fights. It was, oh my God, why can't I think of her name? Laura Gallardo.
Gallardo?
Beautiful wrestling, great wrestling. She is.
Was she Mexican?
Yeah, she did Tough.
That's why her name sounds familiar.
My sister fought her. And then who was my other?
Where'd you fight her at?
I fought her at OC Fairground.
Oh, she came.
Yeah.
You fought a lot of your MMA fights right there. That's dope.
I've actually had.
How did that fight go? Tell me about that fight real quick.
She freaking kicked my ass with wrestling. She is that good of a. She's really good. That's her bread and butter, wrestling.
And so you were on your back most of the fight.
Pretty much.
Did she stop you or?
No. It went all 3 rounds. The third round, finally, I was able to like stop her shots and start throwing and stuff. But it was didn't too matter. Late. Yeah, it didn't matter. She had that in the bag.
Yeah, and then the wrestling at first is very tough to deal with when they're fresh.
Yeah, and I was trying to get all my wrestling in one camp. Again, I wasn't,
She tried to take a shortcut of wrestling. I did that in high school. I had figured out like how to press all the buttons at once at my continuation school, and like I took this computer class, and every time I pressed the buttons, it would answer correct. And so I did all my credits like that. That's how I graduated. So you try to take shortcut.
Kind of. I tried, but it didn't.
Okay, so what happened?
There was another girl though. That was a banger. That was such a good fight too, and we were like, it was really.
Was this at the OC Fairgrounds as well?
This was but a different organization. We actually fought in a cage. Whereas when I fought Laura, we fought in a ring. It was actually for OC Fight Club, and the other one was for LFA, but I can't think of.
You fought for LFA? You fought for LFA as well?
I did.
Ed Soares?
Yes, and he's
shout out to Ed Soares.
Yeah, he's super cool.
My boy Alan commentates for them. Alan Goes, he commentates for them. He's Carlson Gracie's 7th degree black belt. OG. Shout out to Alan Goes. But yeah, LFA is a great organization. So how did this fight go?
Which one? The one
for LFA. Did you win that? The one?
No, she beat me. That
was the wrestler?
Yeah.
That was the tough one.
Those were both of my toughest fights that I've been in.
What did you feel like if you had to say at this time was your toughest fights, as far as like what in MMA was the wrestling that you have problems with at that time in your career when you took these losses?
Wrestling was always my weakest point. Like it was always my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu, and I would train
that fight. This is
Sam Hughes. Yes, girl, you a boss. She's good. She's in the UFC and she is flourishing right now.
Sam Hughes is in the UFC right now in flyweight division. Right now.
No, 115.
She's 115.
She went
strawweight.
up in weight to fight me, and she beat me. Dude, she's
What's
good,
her style?
dude.
I haven't seen her fight. Respect, but I haven't seen her fight
She's
yet.
a cardio machine, dude.
Is she a wrestler or she's just all around?
To me, when I was getting ready to fight her, I saw her as a girl that clinches a lot.
Yeah.
Like she wanted to get a hold of you and just work from there. That's how I saw her.
But that's not how the fight played out?
No, it did. But we striked a lot. We striked a lot.
So the whole fight was striking and clinching. Didn't end up on the ground at all.
No, not really. No.
You prefer it? Let me ask you this honestly. Do you prefer it that way?
What, striking?
Yeah, just like if you go as you're going into your MMA fights, like if you like, because I know it's fun for people to watch the striking nowadays, but like if you had your choice, like is that the way you want it to go?
I wouldn't care if it was wrestling, striking.
But what are you looking for? Are you looking for no game plan? You're just going in there to see whatever?
I just want to. It really all depends who I'm fighting. Yeah. To be honest, if I go against a black belt,
I'm not doing jiu-jitsu with her.
On the ground, okay, I'm gonna try and use my striking.
Yeah, of course.
She's a freaking monster.
So you're
Cyborg.
You're smart. Then in this time of your career, you're already studying your opponents and stuff, and you're having enough time to study your opponents. So this Sam Hughes girl, she beat you by decision. And then what organization? This was for the OC fight.
This was for LFA.
LFA. So both the losses were in LFA?
It was LFA and OC Fight Club.
Fight Club. Okay. How do you take your losses? I'm
distraught. Those, I will say for those, I was just like, I was depressed. I didn't know how to take a loss. I didn't know I just didn't want it. It was horrible. My mental is a lot more better now because I'm more matured and stuff. I know how to handle things now. But before I didn't want to talk to anybody. I'm turning my phone off. I was just depressed.
It's tough to lose MMA.
I'm like,
yeah, but
I wanted it so bad.
The reality is like what you're doing is so hard and it's just so tough, and especially when you start fighting girls that are good.
Yeah,
it could, and with MMA as good as girls are these days, it could go at 50-50. It's tough.
Yeah.
So okay, so you take the losses and then you go through a little bit of like sadness and then what's next? So how do we bounce back from that?
What was it?
What was your first? Do you remember your first win after that? Did you think about quitting?
It all up, but I fought Caitlin.
The order we mixed up for sure. I know.
Yeah, we did. It's okay. No worries. I just trained with her not recently, but I guess you could say recently. But when I was getting ready to fight Dirty Des. I trained with this girl that I had fought.
You've had 2 fights for PFL now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so before you got to PFL, take me there. Like were you coming off a win?
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're chilling. This is the Legacy TV. We'll be lounging here.
So I fought. What was that girl's name? The one that you said before.
Sam Hughes.
Sam Hughes.
You said another girl. Caitlin Neal. I fought her.
Caitlin Neal.
We're in the same. She's in PFL too, so I'm kind of like.
Did you fight Caitlin Neal in PFL?
LFA.
In the LFA, okay. So you had a few fights.
I'm kind of curious if that fight will ever.
How many fights did you have in LFA altogether? LFA.
4.
Oh, you had 4 fights in LFA.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How much money did you get per fight? You can't talk about it.
It will never be.
It
will never be PFL money. Let's just say that.
Well, I'm sure that it's tough. I don't know. I wish you girls would get lots of money. That's all I know. But okay, so
when you put your body on the line, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, where's the love?
Again, there's passion. You love what you do and stuff, so that doesn't matter.
So
money doesn't matter.
So you fight for PFL. Your last fight before you go to PFL, were you coming off a win?
I was coming off a loss, and that was from LFA, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna. I want to fight.
What was your record at this time? Well, after
it wasn't good.
What was it? It's okay. It's your story. It's all good. Doesn't matter. This is the story you're writing, and you should be proud of it.
It must have been. I was like, dude, I don't even know. 4-3. I was. 4-3. It wasn't the best record.
Okay.
It was.
It is what it is. It's professional fighting. It makes martial arts.
To me, like at that moment, I was like, the record matters because people look at your record and are they going to want you because your record's good or is it bad or whatever. That's just how I saw it for some reason. But no, I was coming off a loss, and then I wanted to fight outside of LFA because I wanted to have that experience outside of LFA because I had fought for LFA numerous times. And
do you have a manager?
I do.
Okay, so they let you know when there's fights available.
Yeah.
And then PFL's like.
So actually, my manager didn't present that opportunity to me. My old coach did. He was like, "Hey, they're looking for a 125er to fight Helen Peralta. Do you want it?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Instantly, I was like, yes.
On PFL, yeah, of course I want it.
So I took that fight.
Wait, so your old coach was
Romy Aram, which is my sister's coach.
Millennia.
Yes.
Millennia MMA.
Yes.
Yes. I ran into Lorenz Larkin that trained there before. He's a super cool dude. I met him backstage. I forget which MMA. It was one of Christina's fights. I think I ran into him. He's super cool. And then Bobby Green and Sean Strickland all started training there.
Yeah,
so it was a good job.
That too.
So okay, all right.
Back in the day.
Okay, so you trained with them too?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I remember Sean Strickland. I remember Cub Swanson going there, and I was just like, dang.
I trained with Cub too.
Nowadays, now they're huge. They're big, big.
Cub was over there in Millennia as well?
Yeah.
Cub has been everywhere in Orange County.
Yeah.
He's trained at my gym too. I've trained with Cub.
I don't think he remembers me, but
Cub's trained everywhere.
Oh.
He's been Cub's like original coach in Palm Springs was my first jiu-jitsu coach and an MMA coach. He got killed actually. And he got shot in front of his house.
No.
Rest in peace to Ramon Diaz. He had a really good school, popular jiu-jitsu coach. He was teaching police and stuff. Like very, very successful guy, cool dude. He was the one that made me like jiu-jitsu. Like I was in the MMA stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be really good at jiu-jitsu." And he's the one that kind of introduced me to Joe, because when I moved back to Orange County, he's like, "Go see Joe." But yeah, he was living a great life, doing positive things. Dudes walk up to him in front of his house on camera, shoot him, and he's dead. Boom, that's it.
It's horrible.
And then just recently, one of my black belts posted on Facebook that they had found who the killers were after 5 years.
They found him?
Yeah, they found both the killers. They had pictures of mugshots and everything.
5 years later?
5 years later.
I saw something on the internet, on Instagram, let's just say Instagram, that they finally found the killers of who killed Tupac. Did you see that too?
Yeah.
Did you see that too?
Nah, this bullshit.
It's not true, right? That's how I felt too.
They've been telling us that for fucking years. Pac's still alive somewhere. I'm doing a song with him next week. Yeah, there's so much. Any story that you put about that shit is gonna make. They're all still making money off that stuff.
No.
Suge Knight has a podcast right now. I'd like to have him on my podcast.
Shoot.
He's doing a podcast from prison right now. So he's like that. People are still living off.
I didn't even know he was in prison.
Shit with Pac. Okay, so Romy tells you about this fight in PFL, and at the time you're training with Colin.
Yeah,
Team Oyama.
I'm over there training, and I just happened to cross train with my sister. We're trying to train and stuff, and then he tells me about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And
big fight for you.
Yeah, it was the biggest stage I ever fought on, biggest opportunity. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't pass that
definitely the biggest stage for sure. As far as your career so far.
Yeah.
What was the training like? Are you okay, this is it? Motivated?
Well, we both knew. Well, me and my coach, we knew that we wanted to take Helen down.
Yeah.
Because she's a heavy hitter. And we didn't want to really exchange much with her. So we were like, okay, take her down, work her on the ground. And
which means get good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. But I felt more confident in my jiu-jitsu by then.
And your coaches? Jiu-jitsu coaches?
My jiu-jitsu coach is Mike John.
Shout out to Mike John. Respect.
Boyfriend.
Her. So you knew the game plan is going to be now the biggest stage that you're on now. The game plan is going to be I'm going to take her down and use my jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Felt more confident in my jiu-jitsu. I felt confident in my wrestling because over time you get, experienced and confidence. So
you have very, very good jiu-jitsu.
Thank you.
Yeah. Speak from experience.
Very hard on it.
Yeah. So the training begins. You start incorporating more wrestling, more jiu-jitsu, and of course you train a lot of no-gi.
Yeah, I would love to train gi. Actually,
let me ask you a question. When you train jiu-jitsu, especially you're fighting for MMA, are you practicing with MMA gloves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was hope. I was hope. Yeah, I assume like
if
you have
I'm
to.
doing jujitsu,
Yeah,
even
it's
at
with the
open mat,
gloves. Yeah, respect.
like
you have to.
You need to wear gloves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have to practice doing jujitsu while you're punching someone as well, because that's part of it. And
it sucks because like my partners that normally just only train jujitsu,
they don't like to train with you.
They don't like it so much. So
I think I'll be honest, like,
and it makes them think because they're like, okay, this
position is not so good. Yeah, it's like I love jujitsu. I'm a big advocate. This is like this podcast. A big part of it is to promote jujitsu because I feel like, of course, I got into jujitsu for MMA, but like, yeah, it's good to know jujitsu.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good to be good at jujitsu, and it really is. Okay, so you start. The fight starts. You're training a lot. You're prepared. Do you make weight easy for this fight?
Oh yeah, I make 25 relatively easy.
Do you have a nutritionist and all that?
No, I don't.
You just do all that shit yourself.
I do it myself.
That's my. I have a student, Christina. She struggled with that shit, and like I remember like weight cutting. Yes, like so. How do you do it? You don't get a nutritionist. You cook everything yourself. You do it all yourself.
I do everything myself.
Are you close to the weight class?
Yeah. So when I'm in camp and I'm training hard, I will literally walk around maybe 132, 133.
That's like right there.
So it's not.
What do you do to cut weight? Take me through a weight cut for PFL. Take me through a weight cut for PFL. What did you do to cut weight? Oh. So you need to get only a few pounds off. Like what?
Yeah.
Sauna?
With camp, being in camp sometimes, like for this last PFL camp, I actually had to try and keep weight on.
Oh, okay.
I was just because I went. No, it was for my boxing fight. Sorry about that. So from my PFL fight to my boxing fight, I was trying to keep weight on because I went from PFL to boxing, and I was just like already skinny, and I went straight into another camp. So I was trying to keep weight on, but
for the PFL one, you just cooked everything yourself. You didn't have no major nutritionist helping you or anything.
No. Yeah, I was good. Sometimes I would have some cheat days. More than one. Let's just say that.
Was it?
Thank God, But yeah, I would cook everything myself.
And you were close to the weight, so you weren't. I was
close to weight. Training was good.
You cut the majority of the final weight before you get on the scale the day of, or like the night before. Okay,
so we will cut maybe a few pounds before, and then day of we'll cut the majority. Hopefully, I'll float. So usually I do float.
You don't starve yourself, do you?
I don't.
Good.
I don't have to. Thank God.
Good.
I used to do that though.
I hate seeing when people do that to themselves.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Horrible. It's the worst part of MMA and any combat sport is seeing people just dehydrate themselves and just destroy their body to make the weight class. It's crazy.
It's the worst. My brother, I've just noticed recently, one of my other teammates. He drinks distilled water. Yeah. That's the worst. I think that drinking distilled water is the worst.
Are you supposed to be drinking Kangen water?
Drink purified.
They're coming after us all. The world is changing. Nah, you know what? It's crazy because lately I've been seeing so much of that. And I got a friend of mine that's going to be on the podcast. He was a cancer survivor, stage 4 cancer survivor. He has a big company called Higher Power Wellness. I'm supposed to do the podcast with him soon. And like, yeah, he talks about like water's everything. Like he's constantly, and I'm not doubting him anymore. So like, I get it now. Like I'm trying to be much more on my health stuff too. I've just been like, I slacked on it for a while, but now I realize as I'm getting older, I want to be here for my kids. And it's very important for us to constantly go to the doctor, to constantly check our blood and make sure that we're good. Because some people, although you're scared, there's so much that can be done if you catch, whatever, if you have a cancer or whatever ailment you have, if your doctor catches it at an early stage, you have a much more chance of being okay than just being scared or nervous to go and not going and finding out later.
Yeah.
And I've lost, family members to cancer and stuff like that. So and friends. So yeah, it's part of life. But what I'm saying is, go to the doctor, people. Go to the doctor.
Yes, go to the doctor.
Go to the
Figure out what's
doctor. Do your blood work and make sure you're straight. Okay, so you make the weight easy. Are you super nervous for your first PFL fight? It's going to be on ESPN?
Oh, yeah. It was all new to me.
It was on ESPN Plus. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was like 10
this
cameras. I'm like, no, I was nervous. I was nervous.
But you had a game plan. You knew what you were going to go in there to do, which gives you like.
I knew what I was. I thought about it constantly.
Which kind of put your mind on one track as you're getting ready to go to the fight. Like, I know what I'm going to do, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, no, I dreamt about it. I woke up in the morning thinking what I was going to do. I meditated it a lot. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, and it showed in my fight. I knew I was timing what I thought she would throw, and she threw it, and I was like, okay, she's gonna throw that overhand right, heavy overhand right,
and you shot right underneath. I think we watched that in the gym just the other night because I knew I was gonna have you on, we watched that, and then so you timed it. You knew she was gonna overcommit to her punches, and I knew
she was gonna try, and I know she wants to knock me out.
Yeah.
That's what she wants.
Yeah, and you've been in the mindset that you're gonna take her down, and you were ready, for those punches. Boom, game plan.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? My teammate, she went back to Tahiti, but she's gonna end up fighting her too. Helen, yeah,
Your teammate's from Tahiti?
Yeah.
Shout out to my students in Tahiti. I have a school in Tahiti.
Oh, shoot.
Legacy Tahiti. Yeah. Shout out to Legacy Tahiti. What's up, guys? So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So this is your training partner?
Yeah. She lived over here with us. We lived in the fighter house together, and
she helped you with this camp?
No, she actually had moved back to Tahiti by then. But now I think it's called Octagon, like OCO, Octagon.
Octagon. So
they're gonna be fighting there, I think, in Tahiti. And that's December, I think, 22nd. So that's going to be cool.
December 22nd.
And my girl Flo, she likes to throw hands. She's a boxer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So.
Shout out. She'll have fought by the time we're like behind schedule on releasing. but that's cool. So, okay, so the game plan comes in. You take her down, and then do you end up winning by decision this fight?
No. So in the third round, I end up winning by TKO.
TKO. Yeah. I remember you end up getting in the mount, I think, in this fight.
Yeah, I got to mount.
I remember a ground and pound, and I remember a rear naked choke. I watched.
The rear naked choke.
But don't take me there yet. Okay. It was probably before. Yeah. That was the LFA one. See, I've watched fight.
No. It was the PFL.
It was the PFL. So the first one was not the rear naked choke.
The first one was
The first one was the ground and pound one. Yes. That's the one where we're at right now.
Yes.
Okay, so your first win is by ground and pound. That's what I'm saying. I've seen the second fight as well. I've seen the rear naked choke.
Yes. Okay. So with Helen, when we got to the
third. So let me ask you this: when you first win your first fight, you're like. I think I saw you crying afterwards.
Oh, yeah, I was.
You were very, very emotional. Like that's a big moment for you. That's why I don't want to just rush over that. I know I've seen, I believe, 2 PFL fights, and those are your only PFL fights. So I know I've watched. So because that's important. I didn't want to have you on and not know like what you've done. And I've been able to see like a few other of your fights as well. But that one was special because I got to see that side of you afterwards, and you know, like the emotions come out. Like, what was that feeling, and why was it so important to you to win that fight? Like, what does that mean? Like now, is it like reassurance for you at that point when you win this PFL fight? Like, hey, all my doubts are gone. Like the losses are behind me now.
So for once in one fight camp, I didn't worry about a win. I didn't worry about a loss. Because me and my family we went through a loss in our family. So I lost my brother the day I found out about that fight. and I took the fight already, and shortly after I had talked to my mom, and my mom's like, hey, your brother passed away, stuff like that. Then later in camp, I didn't care about winning. I didn't care about losing. I just go in there and do business. And usually I'm like, that's when like my mindset changed. Everything changed for me because I always cared. I wanted to win in every fight. I always just wanted to win. That was my expectation. So when I fought, and it was a very emotional camp, just because dealing with a loss.
I know how it is.
I kind of had to hide that, not hide it, but like kind of like put it to the side and not deal with it. But like after like,
what a time though! Like getting ready for like this big fight and to go through that, like fuck.
Yeah, so like after the fight, I was just like, oh my God, that was my first TKO. And then like it was just done. Like I felt like I was like, relief. Okay, yeah, relief, exactly.
Yeah, relief. So, I could see it. I could see it in your face. Like when, it was crazy. It was that's a picture right there. Like that emotion. Like you frame that. Like that's a fucking special moment. Like to see. Like I'd be so proud of that. Like forever. Like that's a moment you should cherish and be so proud of yourself forever. And then you ride off, you're coming off a win, and then what's next for PFL? Do they give you some more money? Like, did they slide you a little check on the way back? Like, you know what I mean? Like, here,
give me my check.
That check must have been a little bit better than like any check you've had before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I
hope they take care of everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're so good. I can't imagine, what the UFC the UFC is like, if PFL is better. I don't know.
You don't know the difference yet. Yeah. You got to see that for yourself, and you can't listen to anybody else because you have to judge that with your own eyes.
Exactly.
But PFL treats you well, and you're happy with that.
Yeah, they do.
And that's cool. Respect.
I was.
Yeah, they gave you the check. You smile.
They flew me out there. I was already happy. They take care of the fighters.
And then so then what's next? The next is the tournament. Am I right or no?
That was the tournament.
The first fight was the tournament.
Exactly.
See, I got my details. Like guys, I take care of 3 kids by myself. I try to get as much information as I can, but my brain forgets things. But I try to know my shit. You're good, dude. I try to know my shit.
Have a lot of fighters on here.
but okay, so you're coming off the win now.
Yes. So
you win the fuck.
I win the fight. So they pull us all the winners into the cage, and they're like it was a fan based thing. So like whoever the fans decided which fighter they like, I don't know.
Regardless of you winning?
Regardless of you winning, if you want to TKO by knockout, whatever fighter like the fans picked.
Damn.
They would
popularity contest.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
That's fucked.
So
I thought who am I to say anything? But I think that's not fair. If you won, you should be able to go on. Okay.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Did you go on anyway?
No. Well, I won the fight, but it came down to me and Desiree Yanez, who we fought later, which great fighter. She put on a really good fight too. She won all 3 rounds, won by I think unanimous.
Hold on. She got picked over you though?
Yeah.
And she went to the tournament and you didn't.
She got the contract.
Damn.
Yeah. It's
and so she did her thing, and then you guys end up fighting.
Yeah. So
wait, how ironic is that? That's crazy.
Because like after the PFL, they were like, "Hey, we really like you." They just told me, "Hey, we really like you. We want you back and stuff." I was like, "Dude,
let's do this. Let's fucking do it."
So
I'm ready. I'm waiting.
So when they called me, it ended up being Desiree Yanez. I kind of in my head,
you already knew that.
I kind of.
Yeah,
I was felt all right, it's gonna be her.
Yeah.
So we end up fighting. Nothing but respect. We're super cool. Even before like we were gonna fight, and I was lined up to fight Helen. We were talking, super cool chick. And then when we fought, again, super respectful.
Again, in this fight, your jiu-jitsu was better.
My jiu-jitsu was better.
Shout out to the jiu-jitsu folks. Hey, just take me through the end of that fight. How did you end up finishing this fight? What did you pass her guard? Did you take her down? Like, just take me through like a.
Oh my gosh, I will tell you this. Oh my God, my gym makes fun of me about it, especially my coach. My coach be my butt about it because he's all about like single A, double A, taking them down. Like, you take them down. I pulled guard.
Oh, you pulled guard. Okay.
Guard.
Respect for that.
I didn't, that wasn't my
Did you tie up first and then pull guard?
No, she caught a kick. So she caught a kick and I was like, either I fall on my butt or I pull guard. I pull guard.
Fuck it. And she came down? She came on top?
Yeah, she was on top and I was like, all right, I need to get on top. So
I sweep her ass.
Yeah.
That's where having a good guard,
got on top.
That's why people practice off their backs, right? Like, so to be able to, like, if you do end up there or if you even want to be there, at least you know how to, you don't have to submit the person off there. If you have a good sweep game, you can end up getting on top and finishing the fight from there. So you sweep her. What sweep did you use? Butterfly? I rolled with you.
I kind of did, and then I stiff armed and I just
pushed her back.
Yeah, I did.
I remember watching this.
I was like, I gotta get on top.
So did you pass her guard?
Pass, and then I got the back, and then like I knew I didn't have the choke all the way, so you know how you face crank people?
Yeah,
face cranked.
I've been telling everybody that. It's like, I was like, what the fuck do you want to waste your time trying to get under the neck anymore?
Yeah, I felt her chin. I felt her chin there, and she was
sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to finish this thing, go home, get my check, and be off of W.
Yeah.
Wow, and you do it again. Boom. Second PFL fight in a row, and the girl that you were supposed to be in the tournament again, like that you went up against, and you beat her. Like, how much better does it get? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious who.
How
they're gonna put me.
How did you feel at that moment? Like after this,
on top of the world. Like
after,
I was excited.
After she taps, like that.
Like actually, when she tapped and everything, I was just like,
holy shit. She just tapped.
First round.
Oh shit! And you weren't hurt. You weren't really hurt. Nothing.
No,
unscathed.
that was the first time I ever felt like
dominance.
Fight.
Dominance.
Like I didn't. Well, that too. But I also was like, I didn't. No injuries. Nothing.
Respect.
I was like,
did your thing,
Coach.
I'm ready. I'm fresh.
Well, yeah.
Let's go for a run.
I felt
real quick.
I took 2 weeks off. I'm gonna go back to the gym, so I went back to the gym Monday morning.
Damn.
Trained.
That's it.
And then I had to keep weight on.
Now you got it. Okay, so now, boom, 2 wins in a row in MMA. That's what you're coming. That's your streak right now. Like, what's up? Like, what do we got to do to get you like, is there a big fight there has to be, like, if, especially like, I know they're kind of tournament based style sometimes, like they should be giving you a big fight.
Oh, you know what they have going on though? That I think, because I think it's cool that they're doing this.
Let's say this right now real quick too. They've just joined with Bellator.
Yes, they acquired Bellator.
So this becomes bigger because there's more girls in your division.
More girls, more guys on the roster. It's expanded.
And you're coming off 2 wins.
Yeah, so just curious what's gonna happen.
Something good is gonna happen, and we're gonna hopefully, by the time this comes out, we'll have you back on to talk about before your fight.
Yeah,
I definitely want to be a part of this. But yeah, like Lisa, the doubt, that's part of life, and that's okay. But you can't doubt yourself. You have to do, no matter what, you have to chase your dream. I tell my kids this, I tell my students this, and I would tell anybody this. You have one life, you have one time at this. Your body is like is not a car. You're not gonna be able to change it. You can't change the engine. You can't change the motor. Well, shit, nowadays you can't change some shit on your body, I guess. People are changing like their kidney. I have a friend that's actually getting a kidney transplant. There's so much. It is crazy, but what I'm saying is, like, you got one life to live. So it's very important that you don't just let the life pass you by and sit at a desk doing what you don't enjoy doing. I would never do that. I chased my dreams no matter how difficult it was, whether I was going to fail or not. It will never stop me from doing what I want to do. And that's why I have so much respect for women's MMA. And I feel like you're doing what your passion is right now. And right now you're on the up. So you have to be as strong as you possibly can be. And I don't see anything but positivity, and I don't see nothing but wins in your future. And hopefully one day we'll be sitting down and you'll be wearing a championship belt, because that's hopefully the possibility. Because right now you're on the up and you never know. So keep God on your mind, be blessed, feel powerful, and everything happens for a reason, and time will bring you the right things. So hopefully we're gonna be seeing Lisa in a really fucking big fight soon. With that being said, like, let me ask you a couple more questions too. Favorite fighter, girl fighter, women's MMA.
Oh man,
it could be UFC. It could be anything. Who got you like in love with women's MMA as a women's MMA fighter?
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
But I also have I like Kaylee Reeves.
Smoothie.
I liked what's her name? Miriam Nakamoto, which is a Muay Thai fighter. Oh my god, I was obsessed with her. If you gotta look her up, she's
I haven't. I'm not gonna even pretend I've heard the name, but I definitely have heard of Gina Carano. She was fucking fun to watch fight.
Yes.
And I remember, like, I was like, damn, she's kind of pretty too.
Yeah, dude, that's what sold the fights though. She was gorgeous and she knew how to fight.
Yeah, well, you know what? In my eyes, all of you women are gorgeous. All of you are gorgeous in your own way, and I always wish that you girls the best and health and success and money, and it's such a fucking awesome thing to see, like, you girls train as well, because that's what a lot of people don't get to see. They don't see how fucking hard it is to train, and especially being a woman training like jiu-jitsu and MMA on top of that. It's like, it's tough. It's tough. Like I said, I trained with Christina. I've sparred with her.
How long did you work with Christina, by the way?
Christina was out here. She worked with me for like a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah, I helped her.
Did you work her with jiu-jitsu or?
Yeah, like, so she came to my gym, like, looking to work on her jiu-jitsu. We had a mutual friend, and she came to my gym because my friend was like, oh, I got a boy that's like really good at jiu-jitsu. He's got his own gym, and so she came and trained. And like, I feel like with Christina, like, she's always been badass on her feet, and there wasn't too much.
Her striking's good.
Yeah, she's crazy, right? Shout out to Christina.
Yeah, her striking's good.
She's got good Muay Thai, and I felt like I could definitely help her with jiu-jitsu and the MMA side of jiu-jitsu as well. So I started helping her, and like, while she was out here living in Orange County, we had kind of flipped her record, like, from downward to upward.
Was she on the top? She was on the top.
She was on the tough. She was on the Ultimate Fighter reality show. Yeah. 125ers, yeah. The season that they fought for the belt, that Nico Montano ended up.
Yeah, Nico too,
she was with Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez were on the show, and then she fought in the UFC afterwards as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so she ended up getting armbarred, which, like, I much love to Christina Marks, and she's my student, but I feel like that's, when she was out here, we got to work a lot of jiu-jitsu. When she moved to San Diego, like, I didn't get a chance to train with her or be a part of her camps or anything like that. So I'm not sure, what the training was like, but that's where she was kind of lacking as far as the Ultimate Fighter. I think she fought Montana De La Rosa, who's in the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
She fought her. Yeah, she's tough.
She's about it.
The girls are I'm saying the girls are so good. But yeah, like, I trained with her for a couple years, and but she's, she might fight again too. And that's why I was thinking, like, I'm glad I know you as well, because if she does, and I know you girls were supposed to fight. Yeah, she fought a couple times MMA. Yeah,
but didn't she just fight like recently?
She did a bare knuckle. She fought for BKFC not too long ago. Yeah, she's coming off a win in BKFC. See,
my coach won't even let me do bare knuckle.
Yeah, I'm like,
he won't let me do it.
I'm like, I'm out of that. I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go with her. I'm like, I would go if she wanted me to go, but I wouldn't want to go. Like, no.
Don't they have like a bare knuckle MMA? MMA bare knuckle?
Yeah, Jorge Masvidal.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're right.
Jorge Masvidal has the bare knuckle MMA. That shit's dope.
Yeah,
This is dope.
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
but it's a little bit
watch
brutal.
it.
I wouldn't want like if I was competing in MMA, I would prefer to have the gloves because like at the end of the day, with the bare knuckle, you're gonna fuck your knuckles up. You're gonna break your wrist. You're gonna break your knuckles.
I don't know what the name of it. I think it's BYB. But anyway,
Backyard Extreme something.
that?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Mark Sherwin, I think that's his name. But I saw a picture of him, and his whole side of his face is swollen. I was like, oh my god.
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, like why? It's cool. It's cool. I guess it's another lane that for. I think what I see out of bare knuckle is they're taking a lot of high level MMA guys and putting them in those fights now.
What do you think of that slap?
The Dana White slap. Smoothie, what do you think of Dana White slap?
There is no defense for that. It's just like you gotta get slapped.
You know what? I'm gonna say he's like I like Dana White, but that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I would never want to.
I heard they get paid.
Fuck that. Fuck that. I ain't letting no. I don't give a fuck how much you pay me. I'm not gonna.
10 million.
Ooh,
10 million.
10 million. I'll take a slap.
Okay, maybe.
I'd take a straight punch for 10 million. Like, never mind the slap. Who gives a fuck about a slap? I guess. Yeah, I guess you got a point there. Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
I
a
heard
trip
they
that
get paid really good.
people want to see somebody get this shit slapped out of.
Somebody's I'll pass
You guys are fucked up. People are human beings. We are a fucked up race. When people get a kick out of seeing people get slapped like that, it's crazy.
Some people go they get knocked
the
out. Like,
fuck out.
Back,
yeah.
Like, oh man, and they have to hold this thing behind their back. Oh my god.
That shit's so crazy. But it's like from what I hear, I like to watch the press conference. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit like addicted to MMA shit. But when he talks about the numbers that shit does, like that shit makes money. So
a lot of views,
the amount of views is almost more than MMA, like real top level MMA fights. So that's fucking.
Where did it originate from?
If you're a hustler, though, if you're smart and you're a hustler and you got money to make money, because it takes money to make money, and you got money to play with, why the fuck not? If that's what people are, hey. By the way, by Dana White, you might want to invest in this because people are watching. These videos all have 10 million views. Of course, he's smart. He's a smart fucking businessman, and now he's making money off that shit too. That shit's crazy. Would you ever do the slap?
No. No.
Well, you just said though 10 million.
But I'm like,
10 million.
Me, I would think about what is the defense. I would be like,
there's no defense. That's the worst thing. You got to just brace for impact. Fuck. That's why I said fuck that.
See,
I ain't letting nobody just slap me.
Get knocked out, lose some brain cells.
Well, what's his name got slapped like that? Andre Galvao from Gordon Ryan in Jiu-Jitsu.
No.
Yeah. There was a video of that. Like he slapped him twice too. It was crazy. Like I don't know personally. Like I have kids and stuff. Like I would never want to go to jail. Like at this point in my life, and it would take a lot for me to get in trouble. But if you put your hands on me, we're fighting. Like especially like if you slap me.
Oh,
like, we're fighting. We're fighting. I don't give a fuck if I lose. I don't care. Like if you touch me like in a physical way, we're gonna fight. And I might, whether I win, lose, or draw, I don't give a fuck. Like you're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. You're not gonna just slap me. That shit's crazy. Fuck that.
It was funny because like one day I went to my coach. I was like just messing around. Like,
I'm
not gonna do it, but I was like, Coach, what if I took a fight, the slap fight thing? And he was like. I was like, would you corner me? He was like, I don't know. Like, would your dad be okay? Like, you getting slapped? Like, he was totally against it.
Fuck that.
No.
You need a big MMA fight. You need a big MMA fight. That's what
MMA is where I'm at.
yeah, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Is there like a certain amount of time they have until they tell you to your next fight? Do they have to give you a fight by a certain amount of time?
So that would be nice, but I don't think that's how it works.
Can you be a little bit more
matchmaking?
Can you
is
be a little bit more?
harder.
Could you be a little bit more vocal, or like do you have to kind of like? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to start no shit.
No, of course no. I don't have. All I know is that there's supposed to be.
Can we get my homegirl here a fight like ASAP, like right now? No.
All I know is that there's supposed to be a card in maybe February.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
For the girls,
but like it's nothing, no secretive anything. It's just usually when they hit you up, and that's what like kind of like with Helen that came out of nowhere. So it's never.
Is there someone you were eyeing that has a big name that you'd like to fight?
No, not really.
You don't really give a
I
fuck.
just
give me any one of these broads. Like, let's go.
Yeah, anything that I it doesn't matter to me.
You just want to get in there.
Yeah. Oh.
Respect to you. Respect to women's MMA. I wish you nothing but success. Thank you so much for being here. You're on the rise, and we're gonna be following the story. And anytime that you want to speak about anything, we're always gonna be on your side. And we're a big fan of Lisa Mauldin out of Team Oyama. Shout out to Team Oyama. Hey, check it out. Legacy TV, episode 8. It's been a great one. Like, subscribe, tell your mama, tell your daddy, your auntie, and your cousin. Peace. I'll see you guys on the next one.